Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. This is Uncle Lenny. On this channel we talk so much about life. We talk about how to eat right, and I'm an advocate of making sure that people eat right, because when you eat right you make less trips to the doctors, and at the same time we have to promote our own businesses in our community. So in case you're looking for a place where you can fix your car, I'll refer you guys to Melon Street in the east end of Pittsburgh. Make sure that you get hold of, I'll leave the phone number for Melon Street, and these are the sponsors of this video today. And this morning guys, I'm so excited because I'll bring you an amazing content creator, Sharon. Miss Sharon, you are welcome to my channel. I want you please to introduce yourself to my viewers.
Hi, my name is Sharon. I currently live in Pittsburgh, the same city as Uncle Lenny. But I'm originally from Kenya, a small town in Kenya, which we'll talk about later in the video. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So Ms. Sharon, since you have already introduced yourself and you have told us that you grew up in Idolet, Kenya, I want you to tell us, how was your childhood like, and how did your childhood shape to be a woman where you are today?
Okay, thank you. That's a very good question. So I grew up in a very humble background. I grew up in a small town. I was born in a very small town, actually in a very small village.
Small village,
yes.
Okay.
My parents, they grew up in the village, but my parents grew up in the village, and I was born in the village, a very small hospital.
Okay.
And then my dad is a police officer.
Okay.
So we just had to stay in the village with my grandma while my dad went to training for, to become a police officer. And then when he was posted to a town called Eldoret, that's when we moved to the little town. It was not a glamorous childhood. Okay. But I would say my dad made sure that we got everything that we needed: essentials, school attire, shoes, books. But then I remember, one of the things I remember about my dad that shaped me into the person that I am today is he was very, very strict. My dad was very, very strict. He was a police officer. So I think that that kind of contributed to how he raised us up. It's because if he came home and found that you had not done your schoolwork, you were in big trouble. It was a very strict childhood.
So my sister, I want to come in on what you said about dad. You have seen how the world has changed now. Sometimes even parents have no voice into their own children, but that childhood, like the way your dad raised you, made you to be a strong woman, made you a disciplined person. And I can see that you're not the only one who went through that. Most of us that went through the same kind, where our parents were so strict, they made us to be strong. They made us who I am, with the way we are. Came out, we can go anywhere because we are disciplined. So that we appreciate for that kind of we do appreciate for that kind of raising Madam Sharon. As you can see, she is a strong woman. So I'm so sorry, I just wanted to cut a little bit about the same. So I will still let you go ahead and talk about it much.
Okay, so, and I would say my childhood, this is truthfully from the bottom of my heart, my childhood contributed to the person that I am right now, the way I was raised, because my dad never let us skip church. Never. We always went to church, Sunday school, every Sunday. And then when I came to the US, I just found myself going to church with no one to supervise me. Wow. Because that is what he instilled in me from when I was a little girl, me and my family. Or rather, my siblings and I. That's the proper way of saying it. And even the lack of, I remember he took us to a private school, a very expensive private school. He didn't have the money to do that, but he made it possible. And whenever we went to school, the other kids were being dropped off by BMWs, fancy cars. Wow. Me and my sister and I, because at that time we were only two kids. My dad had a very old car. I remember KPN 676. Wow. It was a very old rusty car, but I don't know, I didn't feel ashamed for it. That is one thing that I would really I appreciate about my upbringing. No matter how low I was in life compared to other people, I have never felt ashamed of my situation at that time. And it's because my dad instilled courage and confidence, and to be comfortable with who you are as a person.
I like one fact that you said our dad did not actually let us skip church. I think there is a scripture in the Bible that says, train your children in a godly way and they will never depart about the same. And look at you, you came all the way from Kenya, you were in the US, which means you could have gone and joined so many kind of lifestyle, but still you did not depart your ways of making sure that you go to church. That part has really struck me so much. You know, I don't know, parents, you see, whatever you do, we always remember. Here is Madame talking about how the church shaped her. Even when she came in over here, she remembered that we grew up in a house where we go to church. So, Miss Sharon, I wanted to find out, since you were the firstborn in the family, were any responsibilities or was there any expectation that was pressed upon you in the home?
Oh, that's a very good question. And this is funny because, like I was telling you before we started shooting, I have never been on this other side of, you know, the receiver of the questions. I'm always the one asking the questions. But that's a very good question. Yeah, I'm a firstborn in a family of 7. And when I was growing up, I remember the one thing that I'll never forget. My parents always told me, can I say in Kiswahili and then say in English?
Yes.
If I do a mistake, my dad would say, sasa wewe ukifanya hivi, hawa watoto wengine watafanya nini? Like, translated to, if you're doing this, what will the other kids do? Like, don't you see the other kids are looking up to you as the firstborn? So if you're behaving badly like this, how will the other kids behave? And that statement used to kill me. I used to feel like I am failing. I need to change my ways. And of course, as I grew up to become a teenager, it also made me rebellious a little bit. Okay. So there was good and bad that came out of it. There was a lot of responsibility to me as the firstborn child. Making sure the kids have done homework before the parents come home from work. Making sure we had animals. The animals are back into the, what do you call the kettle pen and the chicken.
Oh, yes.
I forget the name of it. English is not our first language.
That's fine. You can even use Swahili.
Yeah. To make sure all the animals are home, you count the chicken, you count the kettle, you count the cows, you water the vegetables because my parents had a small garden. Make sure the garden is watered. Cook. We used to cook. And then once in a while we used to have a house help who would help with that stuff. But for the most part, I did, and my siblings, we did a lot of the house chores. Wow. And actually, at that time, you feel like you're tired. Like, why don't I have this? But when you grow up, it instills a kind of discipline in you that you don't realize until when you're older. And I truly appreciate that. Because I know if my parents had more, they would have given us more. But we had to do with what we had to do. Yes. Yeah. So guys, I don't know where you'll be watching this video from. I'm sure there are people that will be seeing this video in my village. Here is Miss Sharon. I mean, she has just been very open to say there were so many responsibilities that were pressed upon her. It is the same responsibility that were pressed upon her that made who she is. So you may be also in the village doing almost the same thing, but the goal is making sure that you don't give up, you stay focused in your education, because you never know where God is going to throw you to. You never know where God is going to take you, because everything starts from where you are. That's the reason why this morning I want to talk to Miss Sharon to go in depth about how she was, because I'm telling you, she is an entrepreneur. She may look like this, but she's running a very powerful business behind it. That's the reason why today we are in. I want her to tell us more a little bit about herself. So, Miss Sharon, what really inspired your education path, and how did it prepare you for your current career? Okay, wow. Actually, I was a teacher's pet. My teachers loved me. I loved school. Okay. I mean, I wasn't very good in art sciences, but I loved English a lot. And I wanted to learn everything about English. I was a very good writer when I was in school. And I truly loved. It doesn't mean that I was a perfect student. I didn't understand why I was always into language in general. But see, now I'm a YouTuber. Now I speak on video. Now I write. I actually write. I write opinions to newspapers. Yes, I have a blog. So just that little passion, that spark that God gives you, don't take it for granted, because you don't know how that is going to pan out in future. Even if it's your education, you know, you say, why do I love biology so much? And then you end up becoming a nurse.
A nurse,
yeah. So actually, you've reminded me of a very special memory. I remember right after high school, this is one of my favorite memories growing up as a person who loves language. Right after high school, I think I was 17 years old. I was almost turning 18. I remember the first article that I ever wrote was published in a newspaper called the Standard newspaper, and I was, I think, 17 at the time.
Wow.
And it was just, I don't remember what I talked about. It was a long time ago.
Wow.
And if you allow me to talk about, to parents now.
Yeah,
Let me talk to parents.
Yes.
This is to parents. I always wanted to be a journalist. It was deep down in my heart because I loved storytelling. I believe everyone's story is important and there's something you can learn from it. So I always wanted to just tell stories about other people. And like I said, when I was 17, I was writing to the newspaper. But my mother, she was in media.
Okay.
And she was in a Christian TV station, worked in a Christian TV station. So every time they went for conferences in Nairobi, which is the capital city, she would see how the other journalists would be partying and doing all that stuff. And this wasn't something that she was really into. So she didn't want me to be in media at all. But that was from when I was a child. I would watch the news with my dad, and I would imitate how the anchors are speaking. Yeah. And I just knew from a young age that's what I wanted to do. But because my mom saw all these other things happening whenever they went to the conferences, she said, no, my child is not becoming a journalist.
Okay.
But so I went to university. I did bachelor's in education, English and literature, to become a teacher of English for high school, which I taught English in high school for a couple of years. But then, see, it's crazy because later on in life, when I was a bit older, I ended up actually working in a TV station.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when I left Kenya, now I'm doing kind of the same thing, but on my own platform, which is my YouTube channel, Sharon's Cup of Tea.
Okay.
So to parents, you need to see the spark that is in your child and light that, like foster it.
So guys, they say charity begins at home. As you can hear for yourself that she started on the young age, writing articles to the newspapers, and here she is. But right now we're going to talk about how she actually transitioned herself from a full-time career into a full-time YouTuber. How did YouTube come in?
Wow, okay. How did YouTube come in? That day when I was living in Kenya, I had my dream job. I don't know how many people can say they have their dream job. When I was in Kenya, I had my dream job. The salary wasn't good, but I was a journalist. I was a feature reporter. Health, education, stuff like that. So I had the opportunity to come to the US, and I remember sitting at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And while sitting there, I could not believe that I'm leaving this life behind. Yeah. When I was boarding that plane, I said, when I go to the US, I'm going to get a job at Pittsburgh Post Gazette. Okay. I Googled, I knew those. I said, I will go to Pittsburgh Post Gazette and ask for a job. Because I wanted to continue with what I was doing in Kenya. I did, but they told me nah. I told them I'll work for free later on, like 1 year later. I told them I'll work for free, and they said no, we're a union. We have to pay everybody who works here, and we can't hire you right now. But I tried applying for jobs in media in the US, and nothing was forthcoming. And so I told myself, if nobody's going to hire me, then I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel, and I'm just going to tell stories from there.
Wow. I like how you determined that I'm gonna go to the US and I'm gonna get a job to Pittsburgh Gazette. What motivates you? I know YouTube is not an easy thing.
It's not.
What motivates you to start your YouTube channel, and what kind of content do you focus on your channel?
So I focus on 3 things on my YouTube channel. My travel experiences. And my second part is mindset, productivity, and living your life as authentic as you can. And then the third thing is I interview people with compelling stories. When you share your story, someone else will learn something from it. People will learn from your mistakes, they learn from your experiences. And for me, I just want people to learn from what I am sharing, to inspire one person. And sometimes you look at YouTube and you're like, you don't have many views, but I tell myself, this video, I'm doing it for this particular person.
Yes.
you have to know what sparks the light in you so you can illuminate the world. So if there's that God-given little spark inside of you, you have to tap into that and just use that to illuminate or light up the world to someone else, even if it's just one person.
So guys, what really striking me so much is you can see how consistent she was in her journey. The passion to work in the media. Even if she came to the US, she was determined to get a job, and she even volunteered to go and work for free. Even if they didn't give her a job, nothing would stop her dream. So it's important to stay and focus on your dreams. There she is. She's a YouTuber. But remember, guys, that my channel, we are talking about promoting businesses. And don't forget that this woman today, she is an entrepreneur. So today, Miss Sharon, can you walk us through in your entrepreneurship journey?
I used to have a cleaning company called 412 Maids. I think the listing is still on Facebook. I used to do commercial and residential cleaning.
Wow.
And I did have a cleaning company, and I had about three ladies who were cleaning homes with me. So that was one business that I closed. And then the second business I got into, this is in order of how it happened, was eBay. When I met my husband, we realized both of us love traveling a lot, and we just wanted extra money to travel.
To travel, yes.
So we decided to buy things from certain stores, and then we resell them on eBay. It's basically reselling. Sure enough, I don't know what happened, just God's grace, that business grew so much to the point where we said, you know what, we have to start selling on Amazon instead of eBay. Because Amazon has better profit margins.
Okay.
And it's bigger, has more shoppers. I will not take all the credit. My husband does a lot of the outsourcing. Okay. Then I do the back end of it. Okay. Yes. Selling on Amazon has become our main business. Wow. Our main source of income. The other thing I do is Turo. You can either rent a car from the airport, or you can rent from a local person like us, for example, on this app called Turo. I have driven a couple of cars at 0 miles, brand new cars, and this is mainly because of this app called Turo. So right now I have a Land Rover, and it's renting, someone has it, and I'm making enough money to pay for the car and the insurance.
You know, they're saying information is power. I mean, if her, who came from Kenya, and she's able to live American dream, surely even you, or even someone else who is somewhere else in Cambodia, or anyone else who is thinking life is not worth it for me, remember that you can still make it. That's the reason why we are here still talking about all this. Otherwise, if anything else, she would have decided not to give out this information, but she's open enough, and she's a person who is ready to help. If you want to start a business, she will walk you through. So listen, I know she mentioned several businesses. I mean, this is a person who grew up in Kenya. How was your transition from Kenya to America? Because it seems you are well out here so much, you know, Amazon, eBay, and other stuff like that. I know it's not easy to grow up in Africa. And America, it's a vast and fast life that you seems you picked it up very fast. I mean, look at what you're telling us. How was it when you came to America, and that you seems you put your foot very fast in the US?
Yes. So, Lenny, something that I haven't said is, for you to be successful, sometimes you must have gone through a certain experience that will give you so much fuel that will just make you wake up every day and go for it. And apart from my dad, you know, the upbringing and instilling the desire to keep going in me, leaving my son in Kenya was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. It was very, very difficult, and I couldn't bring him because obviously the finances, and it was a new world. So when I came to the US, I was very, very intentional. If you forget anything that I said in this whole video, when you're intentional about certain things in your life, you will work towards them and they will come to you. I was extremely intentional about what I wanted, because the pain I had gone through in my early life, I just drew my energy and the intent to be intentional about life from all these things that I had, bad mistakes that I had made in the past.
I like what you said. I know you talked about the businesses, and you know, every business comes with challenges. So what kind of challenges do you face as an entrepreneur?
Hey, that's, if I open up the whole of my heart right now, you would be shocked. Number one, even right now we are going through a challenge, because one of the challenges you face as an entrepreneur is there's low seasons and there's high seasons. There's mistakes that you can control and others that you cannot control. One of the things that led to a little bit of failure on our part, and I say our part because my husband and I, we work jointly. He's from Pittsburgh, so he knows this. He knows this market well. Was because we had so many things going on, we ended up not paying attention to some of our other businesses, and therefore it ended up
going down.
Yes.
So my sister, whilst we still over there, because maybe someone else is also thinking on how to start online business. Do some of these businesses, are they insured? Do you have to insure your product before you put it out there?
Yes. So I feel like it also depends on how much inventory you have. Like for the cleaning business, I had insurance because I was going to very nice houses. Even not so nice houses, you still need to, in case you break something, it will cover you. But for Amazon, yes, we have insurance for it. My advice to you is, if you have multiple businesses, delegate a lot, do a lot of delegation. Or number two, just cut down and focus on a few until when everything is streamlined, then you can go and do the other next business idea that you have.
So Sharon, I know you are living American dream.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I know you are living American dream. Look at how much businesses you are telling us. Look at how you are walking through what you have done. So how do you balance your personal life?
I am a mom too. I can say the only reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do is because my partner is very supportive.
Supportive.
Yes. Because there's no way
you can do this.
I can be able to balance all these by myself. Yes. I have a very supportive husband. I have a very supportive family. Very supportive friends. I have surrounded myself with people who are holding me and grounding me. And so that helps me balance. That's number one. I just try to prioritize. I try to prioritize each day. You know, I want to do YouTube every day. But I have a child. I have a husband. I have a business. So you just take each day as it comes, you know?
Yes.
Just prioritize your to-do list.
I have my audience that speaks Swahili. I like one part that you says you cannot do all that you do by yourself.
No way.
You needed another supporting hand. I want to say it in Swahili. I know there are some other people who wants to do out there, but some of their spouses, they're telling them, you cannot do it. Oh, forget about that. I want you to speak into that audience that are looking at it now.
Yes, then listen to me. If you're not, this advice would work very well, especially if you're not married. You know, if you're looking for someone, trust me, you need to know the person you're choosing to spend your life with. When I was starting YouTube, the moment I remember I hit 100 subscribers, I came home. My husband had put all these papers. He had written, "Congratulations, 100 subscribers," with balloons.
Wow!
In the house, I used to have the cleaning business.
Really?
So I'm tired. I used to have my t-shirt that says 4 and 2 maids. I come up the steps and I see his stickers on the wall. Congratulations for 100 subscribers with balloons, and I was and chocolates and flowers. I'm like, oh my gosh, this man is very supportive.
Really, yes.
And then I remember, I think when I don't remember how many subscribers, he got me a camera. It's actually right here, I'll show you.
Wow.
He got me this camera just because he believed in my dream, right? So when you're choosing your spouse, you better choose someone who will support you, right? But if you're already there and you have a partner who doesn't believe in your dream a lot, I would just say, show up for yourself. You keep showing up for yourself until you prove them wrong. In fact, when someone does not believe in your dream, you're gonna show up and prove them wrong, right? Your passion matters a lot. There's a reason why you're passionate about that thing. Even when nobody else believes in you, just keep showing up until people will just change their perception about your whole thing.
So guys, next time I can't wait to bring Habi over here. Next time I need to make sure that we put him on our channel as well, because it's very, very good when you have a supporting husband. You see, he got her a gift even when he just hit 100. So one thing I know much, there are times where you says you walk alone. There are times when you start something else, you may have a dream, but your spouse may not see it. But you have to walk alone until when you are done with what you wanted to accomplish, then your spouse may even walk up to say, I didn't see this. So do not feel discouraged if you don't have a supporting or anyone else supporting in your family. Sometimes you just have to go out there. And she's very blessed to have a spouse who would even put all the congratulations even if you just hit 100.
And Lenny, you said in Kiswahili, because sorry, I forgot about that. In Kiswahili, we have a proverb that says umoja ni nguvu.
Umoja nguvu.
Yes, umoja ni nguvu, like unity is strength. Yes.
Ubuntu.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ubuntu. That's true. That's true.
What lessons have you learned along the way, and how have they impacted your life?
I have learned that progress is better than perfection.
Sure. Yeah.
I could speak a lesson about everything like personal life, career, education, but in general, in my work, especially on YouTube, I have learned that progress is better than perfection. New progress every day, even in your personal life, in your personal battles.
So guys, please stop by on Sharon Kiprono YouTube channel. You will learn so much. You can see the ideas that she is bringing up on the table. I can't wait to see so many starters next year. I can't wait to feature you on my YouTube channel. I know YouTube is not an easy thing. It's very tough. So how do you handle your self-doubt? There are those that criticize you or negative feedback, because when you post, not everyone else receives the content. Other people, they write negative. How do you handle that kind of criticism?
Let me begin with how do you handle self-doubt. So when it comes to self-doubt, over the years I have developed a very strong mental a mental mechanism that I tap into my positivity a lot. So I don't struggle a lot with self-doubt, but it's there, it comes. Just choose not to listen to that. Don't listen to that voice, that whisper that's telling you, what if you're not good enough? Don't listen to that. It's a lie. You have to tap into who you really are deep down, and find a way of developing a very strong mechanism to help you become more confident. About criticism, you've been on YouTube longer, like you are more consistent. How do you deal with it? So
normally, actually, criticism, they're also good, because I have to look on the other side of the coin. I should not just be focusing on saying maybe I'm 100%. I pay attention to say what is it that I can do better from what I have said. So basically, I go back and look at it and just to try to incorporate whatever the other person is saying. So criticism to me, it's okay. I welcome them up, because when I was doing this, I never grew up with a camera. We never grew up with all this technology. So meaning everything else that I do, I'm learning. It's a learning process. So criticism is good because I'm learning.
I like that too.
Because when I started, people were saying, is something okay with him? He's going around with a camera, look at him. But they didn't see the dream that I have. Sometimes that's the reason why I said sometimes there are times where you have to walk alone. Because the people that are seeing me with a camera, they don't see what I see. They're just seeing this man moving with a camera. But whenever they criticize me like that, that's when I show up again tomorrow. There's something they show me. Then later on they came to realize to say, wow, we didn't see what you were saying.
That's true. So what you're saying, like what I can take from what you're saying is, which I have also embodied in my lifestyle, is the dream needs to be bigger than the fear.
That's exactly.
I think that sums up the question.
So my sister, what's the future? What are your plans for YouTube channel and your business? Would you have any future plans?
Okay, for my YouTube channel, right now I want to get monetized. I will get monetized. You have to speak it into existence. Amen. So get monetized on YouTube. Keep creating amazing content for the people, and make it my full-time job. Maybe when we have something new going on, we'll come and talk about it.
So guys, I want to attest to tell you that this madam, oh my goodness, she drives one of the most luxurious cars. It caught my eyes to say, my goodness, look at the type of a car she's driving. So my sister, if you had to give an advice to someone else who is aspiring to be a YouTuber or a real estate, what advice would you give?
If you're aspiring to be a successful YouTuber, let's begin with that. You need to be consistent. And number 2, don't wait to be perfect in your videos. Just show up and tell your story, right? If you give people what they like, they will come back.
They'll come back.
Yes. So show up as yourself. And then as the other one was business.
Yes. And entrepreneurship. And I like talking to foreigners and internationals because that is my experience, right? One thing I can tell you is there's no boundary in the US. I'm not saying you do illegal stuff. I'm talking about how far you can go. Because where we came from, we barely had anything. I used to walk a lot when I was in Kenya. I used to walk a lot. I didn't have a car. Okay.
I didn't have any of that. Life was different. Yes. I never had an iPhone until when I got to the US.
Yes, you're right about that.
I never had all these things, but if you want to be successful in whatever it is that you want to be, go beyond what your mind can even think about. There's no boundaries. I have met a lot of amazing people. There are so many opportunities here. If you're here, do not sit on that. Take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. But if you're back home as well, don't take for granted the experience you're going through right now, because you don't know how it's going to shape your future. You could be a young girl in the village, and you don't know where that's going to. I remember carrying water from the river.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
In my hometown it's called Charangani. We didn't have a tap water. Carry water from the river on my back up the hill to our home, and even our house when I was growing up was mud, matope. Like you mix water and mud, and then the walls. And
you put it up in the house, huh?
Yes, we carved down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We do that in the village too.
I didn't grow up in a fancy house, and then until when I was older is when my parents were able to have like a stone house and all that.
Wow.
Every experience you go through is not wasted. It's just molding you into something.
You have seen, she's telling you, do not sit on your dreams. If you are dreaming, go out there. There are people that are ready to help. Sometimes we limit ourselves thinking we are not good enough. I don't know how to speak this. I don't know how to do that.
Yes.
But if you have a dream, put your dream out there. Talk to people.
Yes.
I mean, I met my sister on Africa and Celebrate Africa. Yes. She just walked to me and said, hey, I'm Sharon. This is what you're supposed to do. Talk to someone else. Don't only talk to the people that you know.
Yes.
Sometimes we limit ourselves. I cannot talk to this one because I'm from Zambia. No.
Don't do that. But I was actually, when I met you, I was coming to meet Clinton.
Yes.
Planning for an interview,
yes,
which is actually posted on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then I saw you with a camera.
Okay.
And I said, Clinton, who's that? And then Clinton said, I think he's covering this live event at University of Pittsburgh. And I said, okay, I'm going to talk to him.
You see?
And I said, hi, my name is Sharon. And then you said, did you ask me, do you know me?
I was like, okay, I'm yours now because so many people say, Uncle Lenny. So I just looked at it, I was like, okay, Sharon. And guys, that time, I was doing it live. She came in, was streaming live at Celebrate Africa. So why am I saying all this is that you can do so much. America has got so much opportunities. Go out there, talk to people, listen, learn. If you're not doing anything, put yourself in school. There's so much you can learn. Don't go home and regret, I wish I would have done that. Look at how this madam, all the way from Eldoret, Kenya, living American dream. I love your car. I'm not gonna lie to that. You are driving amazing car.
It's God. It's not my own making. And my life is not perfect. By the way, it's not perfect. I don't have the perfect house or the perfect anything, but I am grateful for what I have and for the people around me for being so loving and supportive. No matter how far I go in life, I don't want to forget where I came from.
How do you stay inspired, motivated to continue growing?
I'll say in Kiswahili.
Yes.
Sijafika. Sijafika meaning I'm not there yet. I have not achieved everything that I believe God put me in this world to do. And what motivates me and what helps me keep going is just the fact that I need to wake up in the morning and work towards living my life and my purpose to the fullest.
My sister, is there anything else that you would like to share to our audience that we haven't discussed?
I would like to say is that, to motivate you as we close, is that you don't know where life will take you, right? You don't know the people you will meet, how they will impact you. Your childhood might not seem glamorous. Your mistakes.
Sometimes when one door is closed, God opens a better door.
Yes, even for businesses, right? Sometimes one business door is closed, then that's a walking step to another one.
So you can see that she did not sit right crying for that door which was closed. Her mind was focused. She knew there was that voice, the inner voice that we are speaking to her. And she's saying she followed that path. So even you now that will be watching our videos, I don't know what you are planning. I'm very sure there's a voice inside of you that is speaking to you. But follow it up.
Yes.
Do not listen much to the people that are saying you are not good enough. You don't know how to speak English. I've seen people that are doing YouTube literally not English, speaking my mother language.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
How can our audience connect with you and follow your journey?
Oh, thank you so much. So if you want to, be part of my world, you can. My YouTube channel is called Sharon's Cup of Tea. My social media handles, same username for everything. I will leave my email with you, so you can put it in your description box. So if you want to email me for any questions, you can do that. But we can also chat at Uncle Lenny's comment section. Yes. So
guys, to those that are watching, please, I'm begging you, can you please subscribe to Sharon Cups of Tea? Please, let's take up to 5,000. It's nice to see.
Yes.
It's nice to see young women focused in doing business. I've been around on the block, but look at her, so successful in everything that she's doing. That's the reason why Uncle Lenny is up there to making sure that we showcase them to the world. And we shouldn't just watch the videos. We have to subscribe and leave a comment in a comment box, and at the same time, oh my goodness, I will encourage you to come and just have one-to-one.
Yes.
Just come and learn. I've learned a lot today. My sister, it was my pleasure.
It was really nice talking to you. It was really nice talking to you.
It was my pleasure talking to Uncle Lenny. So next time, we need to talk to hubby next time.
Yes.
I just need to see how your marriage is. You know, being married to an American and this man married to an African. What you eat in your home. Yeah. That will be the next content, guys.
My husband is nowhere on my YouTube page. Well, maybe it's time.
It's time. So guys, you got to stay tuned, because that will be the next content that we have to bring. I just wanted to see how people that are married to an American, what kind of food, how is the kind of relationship, how do they live, so that we can inspire someone else in my village.
That's true. And he has been to my village in Kenya.
Really?
Yes. Since we got married, we've been there two times.
So does he eat ugali?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He eats ugali. He eats everything that we make.
Wow.
Yes,
so guys, please stay tuned, because that will be the next content with Sharon's Cup of Tea.
Yes.
Adios, amigos.